Welcome, everybody, to Monday's Lenten devotion. And we have, for the first 7 Lenten devotions, I'm going to talk about ways that you can store up treasures in heaven, as Jesus says, instead of on earth, a text that we read for Ash Wednesday. And today, just in the past, the first one was to have a new heart, which is only possible if God does it. And the second was to give to those who are less fortunate, to the poor, to the needy, to and help them out as well. And today, the third one is to take risks in faith. So what does that mean? Well, for one thing, Jesus gives us, and God gives us in the Bible, tons of promises. And one of the things you know, if you've been a Christian for a long time, is that God never breaks his promises. So one of the ways to take risks in faith would be to grab onto a promise and hold on to it. Say, Lord, you promised me this. I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to trust you for it. That's the first thing. Another way to take risks in faith is, I've noticed in churches, and I think also in personal lives, that taking risks are part of a happy life, a fulfilled life, a meaningful life, and even a peace-filled life at times. And same thing is true for churches. I've noticed that churches that don't take any risks die. And churches that are willing to take a risk on the gospel often do better. Doesn't mean they're going to be successful. I've known churches that are risk takers, have done a great job, but things happen and the church dies. But for the most part, God wants us to step out on faith. You remember that story that Jesus tells of the guy that goes away and gives 10 talents to one person, and a talent was like a year's wage. So, times 10 times maybe $50,000, and you have $500,000. And then he gave 5 talents to somebody else and a single talent to another person. And the first 2 invested and took risks. And the last person buried it in the ground. Now, we have this great possession that God has given us, which is the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. So what do you do with it? Do you apply it to your life? That would be good. That would be a good way to invest that gift of love and grace that God gives us. But also, are you taking chances on that faith out in the world? And as a church, are you taking risks? And it doesn't say any of these people failed, but I think even if they did fail, God would say, well done, good and faithful servant. You took a risk. You took a chance on the gospel, on the good news, on faith, on love, on forgiveness, and on grace. So those are the things that we have to. That's our currency, and so we take risks with that currency. We don't stick it in a bank, and in a church, we don't just stick it in a church, and kind of protect ourselves with our building and don't look outside ourselves to others in need. Same thing with our personal lives. So taking risks in faith is important. Luther put it this way. He said, if you have a decision to make, you don't know which way to go through a door. And if it's not supposed to be where you're supposed to go, God will shut the door. But you got to take a step. You got to go through the door. And a lot of us don't go through any doors. We just kind of are happy with the way things are. So that would be my message for today is, the 3 things so far we've talked about is, having a changed heart, giving to the poor, and now taking a risk in faith, trusting God's promises in your life and your world. God bless. Hope you have a great day. Bye.